Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of HitaTalk. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am because I'm so geeked. Clearly it's my own show and I'm like rocking it out. So as you know, this season 4 is all about Wonder Women of the Twin Cities, continuing because of last season. It was so epic. I had to do more, except the twist this season is featuring the Twin Cities MomSquad. So badass moms who are rocking their world and their businesses. And this gal pal of mine is no exception. Welcome, my dear friend, photographer extraordinaire, Liliana Manns. Hey,
Hi, I'm
girl.
so happy to be on your show, Anahita.
You are such a doll. Okay, so first of all, you love plants. You have a really cute pillow. It says Mi Casa es Tu Casa.
Yep.
Right off the gate, let's just talk about you before we talk about like all like the biz and family stuff. Like, what was little Liliana like? Like, what's your background? Where'd you grow up? Like, give
Uh,
me like this good scoop right there.
so, um, yeah, I mean, originally my family is from Texas, Mexico and Texas. So, we lived in both places when I was very young, and my dad moved us up to Minnesota for job opportunities, really. Um, and so I lived here ever since, going back to Texas and Mexico every year to visit our family and friends down there. And it's been fun. I mean, I loved going back as a child. I mean, our summers were fun because when we would go down there, I feel like we would really get to know more of our culture and a lot more of our Mexican heritage. My brother and I should say. Um, and we would come back with all the candies and all the goodies. So
Yes.
yeah, that was kind of us growing up. And me as a child, like as a little kid, I would say super quiet, very reserved, um, very timid, and I would say really detail oriented.
I don't think a lot changes as we grow older now that I think about it. Like we kind of instill some of that as childhood and like where our personalities don't change. We just flourish in different ways.
I
Um,
absolutely agree. Yeah. After I said that, I was like, what? That's still kind of me now.
that's still me and my amazing self. Okay, were you raised in Texas or here?
I was raised here. So
And
we moved here when I was I had just turned 3.
oh, okay, you're pretty
Ish. Yeah.
little. Yeah.
Yeah, I was little. So I was raised in Faribault, Minnesota, which is in southern Minnesota. It's about an hour from the Twin Cities. So
And
yeah,
what part of Mexico was your family? Is there or
yeah.
that?
So they're from different parts of Mexico, but the place where we were, where my grandpa's living now, is just the northern part. It's about an hour, I would say, or an hour and a half from the Texas border in McAllen, Texas.
Okay.
So all the valley area down there, like Brownsville and all those areas, is where a lot of my extended family live too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
love it. Hence the
it's
pillow.
fun. It's fun. It's a whole different world over there.
What was one of your favorite like childhood memories or what's something that you go back to because you're a mama now and we'll talk about that in a second. Like when I'm going through my motherhood journey, I'll remember things from my childhood that I like kind of forgot about. Is there something that's like stuck out to you recently or something that you just a memory you really love?
I would say the memories and my most cherished memories for me as just growing up would be the summers in Minnesota. Um, I my family, because I think we're so used to the warmer tropical kind of climate, we did a lot in the summers. My dad has been a very avid like gardener since a really long time, and so every summer we had a vegetable and a fruit garden. So yeah, I just remember being able to go outside, grabbing cucumbers and watermelons, and being able to just chop them up and eat them with my family, being outside in our backyard and having a picnic, and yeah, things like that. So I think that really sticks out to me. And really, I'm inspired by that because now I have my own garden, and I just feel so grateful that my dad was able to teach me those things.
I love your Instagram storytelling and posts because it's fun to build our own gardens and you and your creation and then planting and this
Yeah,
the regrowth of it every season is so fun. But like, look at that. It was something you grew up being around.
yeah, it was. And so one thing that really sticks out, and I think it really has, it just, life is so full circle. You know what I mean? Like memories, experiences, it really, they're like seeds when you're younger. And I mean, we're talking about a garden here. So, you think of that kind of too. And just one thing that sticks out the most is we have a photo. It's an 8x10, and we've had it in my parents' house displayed since it was taken, like, right away. My mom printed it, and it's of me and my brother, and we're standing in front of my dad's huge garden, and we're about 3 and 4. Well, my brother's about 2 years, so like 3 and 5 or whatever, and it's in the summer, and we're barefoot, and it looks like heaven. Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
yeah. And
That's so
that's like my
sweet.
favorite photo ever, and just like those memories. And I think that has a lot to do with me kind of now as a mom, and yeah, just starting a photography business. And yeah,
Ooh, isn't that fun? Like,
I
okay,
know.
so we're already segueing into it. So let's talk about your current beautiful household. Who lives in your house? Tell me all the things.
So I am a mom to one little boy. His name is John Carlo Ezekiel. We just love him so much. He is an absolute treasure. Um, he is really the light of my life.
So cute.
And I know, I just love him. He's so cute. And he's so feisty. He has a very big personality.
I do think he gets that from your Jordan.
uh, okay, feisty from me, but big personality, Jordan, for sure. Yeah, I would say. Um, yeah, he's so sweet. He's 2.5. And yeah, I mean, motherhood has been hard and beautiful, and I just love doing it every day. Yeah. So,
Oh.
yeah,
Okay,
and
I
my husband lives
yeah,
here, obviously. So
I
he,
gave that away.
yeah, he's awesome. And my husband's name is Jordan, and he's a city boy. So he has just wants nothing to do with the country. Besides, he loves dirt bikes and like that kind of like RV, like, climbing, whatever, road biking, all those types of things, like jumping off of huge jumps and whatnot. So that's cool. That's probably all the country he's super interested in. I mean, he grew up in the city, so it was a change for me moving to the city from being quote unquote more country, southern Minnesota. But it was a really good change. And yeah, I feel like I've become more of a city girl over time, but you just can't take me out of the country too long. I like going back, and yeah. So
You. I wonder what Giancarlo is gonna like over the next several years. I wonder what he's gonna grow into. Is it gonna be more of like, and he might have a little bit of adaptation of both, like all those activities with dad, and then the gardening and maybe the creative, like fun, artsy, creative stuff that you are into. So isn't that crazy? Just to
I know.
see the blend of it.
Yeah, just thinking about um, how two people just come together, and then when you have a family, it's like you really mix in. I mean, you want to say you want to try to mix in all of your best attributes and like the best things you can do for your children, so they
Yeah.
grow up being better than you in a way, kind of like.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, it's fun thinking about Giancarlo and what he's going to be interested in his adolescence. And even now, we do see him very detail oriented. It's very funny. And he's very interested in like role play, and um, he loves art. And yeah, so it's fun. So far, we see a lot of the things I like to do, because he also really likes helping out outside too. Like when we were doing the gardening, he would bring me the plants, and then he would also like dig, and he would help because he has like his gardening tools as well. So
Little man of your own heart. Oh my
I know.
goodness.
But,
Okay, so we've already talked about like the
yeah.
art and the photography a little bit. Let's just
Well,
dive right into it. That is your bread and butter. Let's talk about you and um, your background after
yeah.
high school.
Okay.
It's evident, yes, you do photography. We'll get into that in a second. But after high school, what did you go off to do next?
Yeah. So, um, funny enough, I like don't even know how to. Okay, so I went to MSU, Mankato State. I think now they call it University of Minnesota Mankato, but before it was just Mankato State, and that's
My
kind of
brother went there too.
yeah. Okay, so that's like what I refer to it as. But so I went there. But super funny story. I actually never visited campus before I applied and before I even went. I mean, literally the first day. Okay, no, the orientation day was like the first day of like school that I went to because I had never been to campus. I just accepted and I was like, oh, I'm going here. Okay.
Boom.
And I got accepted. I was like, okay, perfect. But here's the thing, like I actually was thinking about going to Augsburg or St. Olaf. And I loved both those campus or both those colleges. And I was really looking into kind of being closer to the city for that Augsburg piece there, but I didn't. I ended up choosing Mankato for their art program, and my dad specifically wanted me to go into nursing, which Mankato does have a really good nursing
Oh,
program, but I ended up going for art, and that kind of was the beginning of some issues. Just kind of
oh
with
no.
my career choice.
Issues.
So,
First of all, we're just
yeah,
going to acknowledge this is 2020 and
drama.
family is happening in the background. So Giancarlo's waking up from his nap. Everyone, you're going to
Okay.
get a sneak peek, but I want to hear your story. What,
Yeah,
like,
no.
what kind of,
Dad is handling Giancarlo, so it's okay.
everyone knows.
So yeah, no. So my dad really wanted me to go into nursing, and I am not very like blood. I just vomit. And I mean, I don't know what I'd have to do. I'm sure there's so many different areas of nursing as I've learned now. But to me, it was like I am not taking someone's blood. I am not like I don't. I just don't want to be around that. But so I ended up going in for the art program, and which was great. But my dad said you need something else. Like you can't just like be an artist. You're gonna starve. Like what are you gonna do?
That's the multicultural like upbringing. Like
Yes.
we all
Yeah.
get that lecture. You need to be a doctor, lawyer,
Yeah.
engineer, something
Exactly.
substantial.
So that was my dad. He was looking out for my well-being. I mean, I love him. He's honestly like just my biggest hero, really. So when he said that, it really kind of just like hurt just a little bit, you know, because you want your parents to be on board 100%. My mom was kind of like, oh, yeah, you've always loved it. Seems natural, you know? So she kind of was like, that seems like the natural way you would go. So that was good having kind of her support. But um, I ended up, so with that being said, I ended up choosing something related to art that I also loved, which was being around teens and people. I love community. And so I added on an education degree with my art degree. So that's how the education piece came to be because I knew that was something else I wanted to kind of be in. I
Mhm.
didn't know when, I just knew that education and teaching was something I wanted to do. So I said, this is the best time to do it. Let's just do it all together.
Yeah.
Um, while I was in the education like program, I also kind of felt a tug on my heart for just more of like the marginalized community as far as like immigrants and refugees and the various ethnicities here in the United States. And I just felt God kind of like calling me to just hold those people near. And I wanted a way to be able to reach them and be near them. And so the EL program, the language program, so that was kind of a little newer at the time. And I ended up adding that on to my education degree. So then I was able to teach English, the English language, to English learners, really. So then that's kind of how that got brought on too. So then I was kind of like all the things for a little bit. Yeah, and that's actually what I graduated with. So I graduated with my bachelor's of art in education and with my ELL licensure too.
Oh
So
my
then,
Lanta, how valuable is that? Did you incorporate art with what you were educating others on, or was it the language focus at that point?
yeah, well, I think so. At first, it was very, very intense language focus. But once I got into teaching, so after I graduated, I ended up teaching back in my hometown in Faribault, and I taught in my old high school. I know.
I'm
And I
so
taught
good.
at my old elementary school. There's more than one elementary school, and I went to like two there, but there was one that I taught at. Um, and while I was teaching high school, I it was just like it was honestly so I feel like a God thing. Like the EL director, the coordinator, excuse me, said, I really want you to teach this new class that I want to give our EL students. And I want it to be an art class for ELL students specifically, and you're licensed in both. He's like, this is unheard of. Like, I've never, like, you're awesome. He just like applauded me so much, and I just felt,
Obviously, he's like, you're a Wonder Woman. I need you.
I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so encouraged that what I went to school for was valuable. And he like made that happen for me. So then, yeah, I was actually able to teach art with language, but mostly art components for these people that I love, these newcomers. So
Wow,
it's
what
pretty
a
amazing.
gift.
Yeah,
That is
I'm
such
gonna
a
cry. It
gift.
was just amazing. It was
Oh,
such a great experience. I'm not gonna lie, my teenagers, because they were all high school students, were very hard to work with. They, teens, it's like they have a mind of their own. They know what they want in life. You're just kind of
they know
there.
everything. Right?
They know it all.
I knew
So
everything when I was 17.
yeah, me too, all of it. And so there was a lot of learning for me, and just how to really like how to be patient and love my students at that stage in life, which can be hard sometimes because they yell things that they shouldn't yell, or they get mad, and they have other frustrations besides the classroom.
Yeah.
So
Probably a place for them to express themselves. Whoa.
yeah,
Figuratively and like at every round, honestly.
absolutely. So I mean, but at the end of the year, I moved to Minneapolis when the school year ended, and my kids were really sad, and I was really sad, and we all cried. And yeah, it was emotional, but I knew that I had another stage of life, a new stage of life coming, where I was getting married and gonna be living in the city.
The
So
city. So after that
yeah,
transition, when did you like convert into photography? How did photography come to life?
yeah. So I ended up teaching in South Minneapolis as well. So I taught high school there, and that was really fun. It was a bilingual school, and we all spoke Spanish and English. So that was amazing. I mean, you can imagine. I was like home. All the music in the morning. I mean, music during passing time. We had like all the traditional things going on, and it was just great.
What a fun.
And then
What
the
school was that?
El Colegio,
Okay.
yeah, and it's off of Bloomington Avenue. I forgot the address, but it is in like the heart of South Minneapolis. So yeah. So then, okay, sorry, lost my train of thought. So after that, I got pregnant with Giancarlo, and for various reasons, my husband and I decided it was a really good time for me to stay home. And it was something I always wanted to do. My mom stayed home with us basically our whole life. So it was something I saw as very common and normal. And yeah, we were excited, and I ended up staying home with Giancarlo. right when I had him. There's a few health things going on I won't get into, but that was one of the reasons too that I decided to stay home with him. But from then on, I just realized once I became a mom, I feel like it's almost like, how do I explain, like the desires and like the kind of dreams or something I had in my heart felt like they were like really growing. Like they started like pushing up, like they wanted to like really grow.
Yeah.
And I didn't know why at that time, but I think it's because it's part of motherhood is really putting yourself aside, and and I don't think that's bad. I think it's healthy to forget about yourself for a while because it just is, and that's just part of how it works for a while for some of us. It worked like that for me, but when I felt these kind of passions growing more, I realized that I wanted to pursue them, and what better time than now, you know? So I ended up choosing photography to explore more. So I have always been kind of like a hobby photographer,
Okay.
but I never thought I could make it a career or a business.
Hmm.
When I had Giancarlo,
What were you photographing as like a hobby photography? What was that?
yeah, landscapes
Okay.
in nature. And I
Okay.
did some portraits for fun, but it was mainly natural landscapes, plants, nature, hikes I would take.
Interesting, because like you grew up with like your dad's garden, so I bet that
Yeah,
they're like intertwining in there.
exactly. Yeah, that's dead on. So yeah, so then once I had him, my son, I just realized like, wow, like there's just so much more to life. Like it's just beginning. It felt like kind of like a new birth for me too, like a new woman.
Honestly, I think that any mom can understand the transition from pre-baby to like really raw after having a baby, and then even like years down the road,
Yeah,
the sense of like losing themselves, but then like refinding themselves. I mean, everybody's journey and story is a little bit different, so
yeah,
kind of already know what you're talking about there. Okay, so you were doing some hobby photography.
yeah.
Um, the passion was starting to ignite again. Like where did you decide I'm going to make this a business, and then what type of photography, la la la, what type of photography are you focusing on now?
Yeah. Okay. So let me see. So to be honest, the whole business part of it, I was really new to. Um, I like for a while, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna really, I think I'm just gonna do hobby photography and like, I'll probably get a few clients, but I'm not going to try to make it anything else. Like, I don't want to push myself that way. But I felt a calling to do it. Like, really, I just felt like it's just too good. Like, I just like it too much. I'll, here's the thing, I ended up getting connected with a lot of moms in the Twin Cities. And then I saw other moms that had small businesses and other entrepreneurial kind of
Yeah.
endeavors they were diving into. And I just felt like, well, motivated, encouraged. And, you know, and to be quite honest, I hadn't seen a Latina photographer in the Twin Cities.
Preach it. We need to see a little bit more range.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest. And that was part of it too, because I felt like I want to offer people a, like a resting place,
Hmm?
like that, hey, I'm bilingual, I speak Spanish, like I know what it's like, oh, your mom's yelling at you in the back, like don't worry, I got you, girl, like we'll still do this. Like, you know, like I can answer those questions, the cultural questions that maybe other people will feel like that's weird, or I don't understand why they make a big deal out of this, which I feel like I wanted to kind of stand in that gap and really fill that role because I hadn't seen a Latina photographer ever. and
Wow.
ever.
Cool that you are creating that path, but a little bit whack that hasn't been something you were really
Yeah,
exposed
I
to.
wasn't exposed to it. And okay, so now kind of fast forward, after meeting all these amazing moms, I also was motivated and encouraged. And like I said, I wanted to fill that role because I felt like it was like the perfect time for me to do it. Well, now I know a few other Latina photographers, and it's just been so fun because I've seen more pop up.
And you're finding it, like you're seeing it more, but also I wonder if others probably felt the same way. You know, you're
Yeah.
probably inspiring one another. So what kind of photography are you working? Like
Yeah.
what's your center? What's your focus?
So I feel like so sometimes when I think about how my business is run, I think it is multifaceted. Like I my passion is, I mean, it's just multifaceted. So I would say there's kind of two sections to it. So number one, being the traditional photography of more of family portraits, newborn, maternity, and just portraits in general for people. Um, and I do events as well. And then kind of more of the like creative, not that the other side is not creative, because it is. I like to put my own spin on photos and editing. Um, but the other part is more that creative element where I can really use everything I've learned, um, as far as in my art program too, which is kind of creating intentional images for business owners.
Cool.
So whether it be like a brand photography shoot, headshots or portraits that really show off who you are as a business, your brand voice, and just staying true to your brand identity. And I love doing that because it incorporates, like I said, everything I love. Like I get to help you choose wardrobe, I get to help you choose a studio. I get to talk to you about just your business and your brand and like how you want to represent yourself in these images. And they live on your website. You can use them as printable collateral pieces, you know. Um, yeah, and for social media, of course, it's just fun making content for people. I love it. It fuels me. It really does. It's fun.
It's totally your art and creative background coming
Yeah.
into it, right? And it's
Yes.
educational. It's not like
Absolutely.
obviously teaching somebody's second language, but it's you're totally educating them on the whole um, brand and the photography and the essential aspect. If people don't have solid
Yes.
photos for a brand.
So I love it. I love it all. And yeah, like you said, it is kind of that art background. I mean, I know it's kind of a huge component of it. Eventually, I would love to teach um, a lot of what I've learned because I do have my teaching background and licensure. So teaching is fun for me and it's also a big passion of mine. So maybe in the future you will see me teaching some workshops, or I already have
You
done a few
already
workshops.
are. Yeah,
I
you
know, I know. I already have done a few, but maybe more like bigger scale or different types of workshops in the future. But yeah, so it's
yeah.
exciting.
Okay, all right. So where can we find you? Where can we support you? What are all the things that we have to look for?
Pretty simple. I try to keep it pretty easy. So Liliana Manns photo for kind of more of that wholesome content for the families and the newborn things and those kind of sweet moments.
Okay.
And then if you're kind of more interested in that business side and more of like that social media and like kind of that marketing, those visuals, it would be lilianamanns.creative. So it just differs with one word.
That's what, like, it's easy to kind of distinguish the
Yeah.
difference if there's something specific. However, anyone that follows you on the socials, on the Instagram
The
world, will know
socials.
I've been saying that lately. The
I love it.
socials.
Made
I mean, on
me.
Instagram, you have two different accounts, but you cross paths. So,
Yes. So I purposely made two accounts just because I feel like, I mean, it's just two different things. It's hard for me to really, I think the audience is different.
sure.
Um, yeah. So I try to make sure that they're both fun and I try to pop up on my stories in both of them. So, yeah.
Sweetest stories ever. Okay, so that's where we can find you. Well, how can we support you? How can we make that magic happen for you?
Yeah, I mean, if you are looking for a photographer that is understanding, detail oriented, just kidding, excitable, I'm easily excitable.
Yeah, girl. Own
Um,
that. Okay, yes, detail oriented. Check.
yeah, just, I mean, I'm your girl. And yeah, you can just support me just by following me. I'm a very, very normal person. I don't live life on the edge.
That there's
um,
people like me who will balance you out. Well, we work together well, which we have. You've done our family photos. You've done my brand photos. We have other
yeah.
projects that we'll come up with.
Yeah, no, sometimes I do get kind of saucy. So
Ooh, okay.
you may have to look for that. Not often, but yes, sometimes I have some content that you might be, what?
Oh,
Just kidding. There's nothing like that. But sometimes I could surprise you. You never know.
always full of surprises. Okay.
But yeah, just follow me on the IG. Oh wait, no, on the socials.
On the socials.
Follow me on
Well,
the socials.
yes, your website and Instagram, and then I will add all of that in these notes. So
Okay, awesome.
we're not quite done yet. I have some really fun questions for you if you are super down. Otherwise, I'm still going to ask you anyways.
Go ahead. I may lie.
Miss Liliana, are you more into glamping or camping?
Oh, girlfriend. Okay, can you define glamping though?
Camping. Are you a camper?
I do like what all is the glamping portion? Like, is that an RV? Is that what you consider glamping?
Yes.
Okay. Ugh.
I should just preface, this is speed round. You have like a second to answer. So camp or glamp?
Fine, I'm gonna be honest. Glamp.
Own it. Yeah,
Well, I don't like when it rains in a tent. Like, no thanks. No, I'm good. Glamp.
So funny. Would you rather go on a cruise or a beach vacation?
Yeah, miss me with the cruise. No thanks.
Okay.
Beach and ground. I don't want to be in the water.
Yeah. If you had to eat if you had to eat the same thing every single day for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm having a hard time because there's a few things that I love, but every day for the rest of my life.
Every day, the same food every day from now on until forever.
All right, then I'm gonna go with enchiladas.
Ooh.
And rice and beans.
Gosh. And I'm sure you have a sick recipe that like you probably cook because
pretty easy, but I'm actually thinking of my mom's. Hers are way better than mine, but
I had somebody drop off enchiladas when we just brought Roya home from the hospital. One of Donami's coworkers at a meal training class. I have never been able to replicate the recipe. It was like the best thing ever. So I might just have to have you cook up something.
Yeah, well, we are supposed to have that dinner night, but
we'll make it happen.
One day.
Okay.
2021.
Speaking of food, are you a spaghetti fan or a pizza fan?
Ooh, I love both, but if I had to eat one over the other, I mean pizza all day.
Pizza all day.
With hot sauce.
Throw on some noodles and meatballs and make it a spaghetti pizza. See, the thing about pizza is you can do any variation of it. So this is a silly question, but I'm going to ask, pizza or tacos?
Probably tacos for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the cilantro and the onions.
I love it. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, pronouncing these. My mouth watering.
I love it. Coffee or margarita?
So I actually don't like liquor. I know. Can't do it. It tastes bad. I'm not into it. Coffee, for sure.
Tequila for this mamacita. Coffee.
But my husband loves margaritas, so he drinks one for me every time he drinks one. I was like, you can have one for me.
I'll have a margarita next time for you.
Yeah, just say, you know what? I'll just have this for you. Even if I'm not there, just do it.
Right. And you'll hold it down on the coffee front. That is all I have for us. Thank you so much for chatting. You are such a sweet lady, and I hope all of you people in the HitaTalk land and the Mom Squad land follow her, get to know her a little bit more, hire her because she's one sick, amazing, beautiful photographer.
You are so sweet.
I can attest to that. Otherwise, that's all I have for now. We'll talk to you later, Liliana.
Bye, Anahita.
Bye.